The easiest way to actually know and understand if you're actually living in a way that's aligned with your purpose in life, or more importantly, that's aligned with the person you envision yourself becoming in the near future, is if you are getting excessive amounts of hate, right? Whether it be on social media, whether it be IRL, whether it be people like trying to talk shit in your comments, whether it be people unfollowing you, whether if it be people just pushing negativity towards you 24/7. It sounds crazy, right? But it's 100% the truth, and let me explain why. First things first, we have to understand the law of polarity, and all it really is, it's just the idea that everything in life, everything within existence has an equal and opposite force, right? Good, bad, yin, yang, green, yellow, etc., etc., and the list goes on and on. To give you like a better understanding or like a better example of what I'm trying to refer to is, have you seen people on social media, but like you can just like sense that they are legit, right? Like you could just feel it within your soul, like these people are like actually legit. They know what they're talking about. They're not frauds, they're not industry plants, they're not sellouts or whatever else that social media loves to call these guys. They are actually legit. Like you can feel it within your spirit that, hey, these guys are the same person on and off camera, and etc., etc. But guess what? These people still get excessive amounts of hate, despite the fact that they're legit, despite the fact that they're so positive, despite that they do nothing but do things that actually help benefit the minds of the collective consciousness. So it really just has to come to like an understanding of questioning, why is it that I could be the best person on the face of the planet? I could be the most positive person you'll ever meet, IRL or on social media in general, but guess what? I'ma still receive hate no matter what. Why is that? It's the law of polarity. It's as simple as understanding that everything in life has an equal and opposite force. This is why I've seen people on social media that I just know are legit, but guess what? They still receive excessive amounts of hate. And so this idea of, stop hating, it will never work. It will never work. You want to know why? It's because these people are actually just doing their part of the natural split of how things are actually supposed to go in life, right? There's no good without bad. There is no bad without good. There is no evil without, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not one thing without the other. And that's what we got to understand and realize. There's no yin without the yang. And so these guys hating, this idea of we need to stop hating, we need to stop doing this, it's never going to work. Because it's literally just a natural balance of how life is actually supposed to be and how life is supposed to work. Secondly, we need to understand and realize, like, we all know, these super successful entrepreneurs on social media. Whether if we're talking about Brad Scales, whether if we're talking about TJR, Andrew Tate, Alex Hormozy, Iman Gadzi, any one of these guys that are on social media that are making like 6, 7 figures or even 8 figures a month, right? But, some people will call them sellouts, some people will call them industry plants, and some people will just hit it that they're not legit, right? And whether if they are or if they're not is completely besides the point. But if you notice with every single one of these guys that I just mentioned, every single one of them received excessive amounts of hate. Some of them are even legit too. Some of them are actually legit, but guess what? They still receive excessive amounts of hate. Why is that? There's literally people that are so miserable that they have to literally take 2-3 hours out of their day, maybe even 4 to 5 hours out of their day to look into this guy's personal life, to look into these people's personal life, and to try and cherry pick certain details of information where they messed up in their personal life and try to expose it all over social media. And what's interesting, right? The thing that's very interesting is the common trend I'm starting to see with all of these guys is, and I'm not saying that what they're doing is inherently wrong, free will. I'm not saying what they're doing is a bad thing. I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong. But like when I take a look at their social media platforms, like YouTube, for example, I would just take a look at their channel. I'm just like scrolling out of curiosity. I'm like, okay, what do they talk about, right? I'm just looking, and all they literally talk about on their channel is exposing him. He's a sellout. Exposing her. She sold her soul. Exposing who and who and who and who. Exposing. I'm like, I literally scroll down all the way to like the very first video. That's all the channel is talking about. Nothing personal of their very own life or anybody close to them or anything that they're trying to personally build. It's just talking about other people, right? And so the point I'm trying to make here is that there's nothing wrong with these guys whatsoever, but it's the fact that they don't have anything going on for themselves. They don't have anything going on for other people. And more importantly, they just don't have anything going on in their lives, period. So they literally have to project that onto other people, that have these big names, that have built up their reputation from the ground up, right? Just so that they can gain a little bit of attention and views on social media. But you see, the thing that a lot of you guys don't understand when it comes to these guys that love to expose people on social media is the people that they're actually trying to expose, they are literally complimenting them. They're trying to expose them, but in actuality, they're actually giving them a compliment. Like, hey, I'm so important, to the point where you have to spend 5 hours of your day every single day to like look into my very own personal life and to try and expose me and try to cherry pick certain details and information of my very own personal life just so that you can look good and gain some relevance and attention on social media. Because that's what it really is. Let's just be honest. And so what I'm trying to help you realize and understand is that the amount of hate that you receive towards your journey of becoming successful in your own way, shape, or form is directly correlated to how successful that you are starting to become, or how successful that you already are. Because think about it, right? These guys, and some of them are even legit. Why do you think even these guys that are legit, they're honest, they're great people, they're positive, people still shit on them for no reason? Why do you think that is? It's so many people on a day-to-day basis that love to hate on these guys, even though that some of them are legit. And sure, you can call some of them industry plants or whatever, but that's not the point. The point is the fact that you are taking so much time out of your day to try and expose these people, which is doing nothing but actually complimenting them and actually really exposing you as the exposer. The amount of hate that you receive is directly correlated with how successful that you're starting to become. Why do you think that all of these guys are huge? They have huge platforms on social media, and it's fair to say that they are pretty much successful in damn near every single metric and aspect of life. They have good money, they living nice, like they're eating good, they're taking care of their body mentally and all that good stuff, right? They're pretty much successful in every single metric of life. But the more successful that they start to become, the more relevance that they start to gain, is the more hate that they start to acquire. And listen, if there's anything that you've been able to take away from this video, it's that we need to start to change and shift our perspectives on what hate truly is, right? Especially if we're getting excessive amounts of hate in our personal journey of living a life that's more closely aligned with who we're trying to become in the future. It's like we always wonder why this is happening. I'm such a good person. I'm such a loving person. I'm such a positive person, right? Why am I getting hated on 24/7? And it's because you don't understand, one, law of polarity, but two, it's actually because of the fact that as you become more successful in your life, you start to attract and draw in more shadows, because the more light that you start to emit is the more shadows that you start to bring into you, the more shadows that you'll start to cast, right? So listen, in our personal journeys of trying to live a life that's more aligned with who we are as people, to live a life that's more aligned with our purpose, we need to understand and realize this one thing. It's the fact that the more hate that we start to receive is directly correlated to how successful that we're starting to become, right? More hate equals more success. More attention equals more success, because what is attention at the end of the day? It is energy concentrated into a centralized point of energy, right? And this is something that we truly need to be able to like change and shift our perspective on, so that we can all live a life that's more aligned with who we all envision ourselves becoming in the near future. But yeah, y'all, so go ahead, let me know y'all's thoughts down below in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video off that. Thank y'all for watching, and that's King Wellness, and I'm out.